control cycle. Over the years, the idea of one nation, one election has gained traction, and today it stands as an important legislative reform under consideration. The benefits of one nation, one election are manifold. A synchronized election cycle would lead to a significant cost savings for the exchequer, reduce policy uncertainty for businesses, and ensure continuity in governance with frequent disruptions due to model code of conduct. It would also enable policymakers to focus on long-term economic growth rather than being in constant election mode. For industry and trade, this means a more stable business environment and a more predictable regulatory landscape. That said, implementing such a significant reforms require careful deliberation, legal and constitutional amendments, and broad-based consensus. Today, Interaction provides a platform for meaningful discussions on its feasibilities, challenges, and the road ahead. We at the FKCCI are committed to fostering dialogue on politics that impact our economy and governance. With luminaries like Sri Venkaiah Naidu ji and Sri PC Mohan ji in our minds, I am certain we will gain a valuable perspective to the subject. Once again, I thank you all for being here today. Let us engage in an insightful discussion on a reform that could shape the future of our democracy and economy. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I request our President to give a bouquet and welcome the Chief Guest and our Guest of Honor. Request our Chief Guest Sri Venkaiah Naidu sir to inaugurate the session by lighting the lamp, and all the dignitaries to join sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasant task of introducing today's chief guest, Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu, the former Vice President of India, who has graced today's interactive meeting of One Nation, One Election lecture for our Founders' Day celebration. So once again, a formal welcome to Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu to FKCCI. The Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, where he upheld parliamentary traditions and emphasized discipline, decorum, and constructive debates. A firm believer in culture, heritage, and Indian values, Sri Naidu has been an advocate of promoting nationalism and inclusivity. His famous motto, which all of you would have heard several times, reform, perform, and transform, has inspired many in governance and policy making. With a career spanning for over 4 decades, Sri Venkaiah Naidu remains a highly respected figure in Indian politics, known for his humility, commitment, and unwavering service to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the great pleasure in presenting Sri Venkaiah Naidu through this august gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, Umareddy Madam. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ರೀತಿ ವೆಂಕಯ್ಯ ನಾಯ್ಡು ಅವರು ಕಳೆದ 30 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಮೇಲ್ಪಟ್ಟು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅವಿನಾಭಾವ ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರೋರು. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಭಾಗದ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಬಂದಂಥ ಯುವ ಮುಖಂಡರಿಗೆ, ನಾಯಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವರೊಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶಕ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥವರು. ಅಂಥವರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ದೊರಕಿದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷದ ವಿಷಯ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ರಾಮನಾಥ್ ಕೋವಿಂದ್ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಸಮಿತಿ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, 191 ದಿವಸ ಅವರು ಕಮಿಟಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ FICCI ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ದೇರ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಸ್, ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಏನು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಇದೆ ಈ ಫಿಕ್ಕಿ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿವಿಧ ಅಂಗಗಳು, ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಿವೃತ್ತ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟಿನ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರ ಒಂದು ತಂಡ, ವಿವಿಧ ವರ್ಗಗಳ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀತಿ ನಿರೂಪಕ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಈ ಒಂದು ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನಾವು ಕಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಚರ್ಚೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಮಹಾಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಚರ್ಚೆಯನ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕುವಂತ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಕಾರಿ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶಕ ಮಾನ್ಯ ವೆಂಕಯ್ಯ ನಾಯ್ಡು ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆನರಬಲ್ ವೆಂಕಯ್ಯ ಜಿ ಟು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾದರಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ PC ಮೋಹನ್ ಅವರೇ, ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ MG ಬಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣನ್ ಅವರೇ, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಉಮಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅವರೇ, ಶ್ರೀ ಶಿವರಾಮ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್, ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್, ಶ್ರೀ ರಮೇಶ್ ಚಂದ್ರ ಹೋಟಿ, ಶ್ರೀ ತ್ರಿವಿಕ್ರಮ ಜೋಶಿ, all other dignitaries, friends from the media, sisters and brothers. I am very happy to be here amidst you all today in this prestigious chambers premises to address on an important issue, current topic of the country, one nation, one election. This idea is not something new. Many people think that this idea is now being forced upon people. It is political and all. I don't consider it as a political one. Of course, having served as the Vice President of India, I am not into politics. But I am retired but not tired. I go around the country, meet the people, greet the people, talk to the people, interact with the people, trying to understand their problems and trying to convey my thoughts to the people. This is how I am spending my time. Colleges, universities, convocations, annual day celebrations, Chamber of Commerce, business issues, agriculture issues, issues concerning youth. Lot of issues are there in the country, so I try to connect with the people and then get feedback and in my own way try to convey to the government on larger issues, not on political issues, because I am not into politics. Having served as the Vice President, which is a constitutional body, I have, on the day when my name was proposed for the Vice Presidentship, I resigned from the party. It was a painful decision, of course. The party with which I was associated for years together, which is responsible for my growth in the body politics. So it was a difficult moment, but once the party has decided, I have decided to resign from the party. Since then, I have not gone to the party office, not attended any party meeting. Of course, people meet me, including BJP people also. And I am available to all, trying to meet and interact with the people. Keeping that in mind, today the chamber has invited me, and I would like to thank them for providing me this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts, not only to the chamber. And I say something, it not only goes to the people of the chamber, it goes to the general public across the state and across the country. That's why I would like to elaborate my thoughts. This proposal has gained greater traction, especially after the submission of the report by the committee led by the former Honorable President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovind ji. Now the central government also have given certain plans on this concept, a tangible shape That's why this has gained momentum. Let us look at this proposal. One nation, one election. For holding simultaneous elections, Lok Sabha, that's the lower house of the parliament, and the state legislature, that is assembly. It underscores the need for consensus in national interest. I underline, there is a need for consensus. This is not an issue to be really disputed. And this is not new for India, for Indian people. As it was said earlier, I would like to really stress on that. 1952, first general election. 1957, second general election. 1962, third general election. 1967, fourth general election. Elections were held simultaneously for the Lok Sabha and to the assemblies. 4 times. No one opposed the idea. No one initiated even debate also. This was done under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru ji, the then Prime Minister, and then Srimati Indira Gandhi ji, the then Prime Minister. The country had these elections. People used to be given 2 ballot papers, one for the Lok Sabha, other for the Assembly, and people used to mark their choice without any difficulty, including so-called illiterates and all. They did not get confused. Now some people are trying to confuse the people about this issue. They are trying to politicalize it. I humbly request all of them, please leave politics aside. Keep the nation's interest in mind, and then let us all come to a consensus about holding elections simultaneously. The issue, someone asked me, why should there be any debate at all? Because election after election, as I said, 52, 57, 62, and later in 67, India had simultaneous elections. And we did not face any problem. People were not confused. Federal structure was not affected. State interests were not sacrificed. Then why suddenly new issues are coming to the fore? When did this change? If elections were held simultaneously in 52, 57, 62, 67, when did this change? The change has taken place because certain state assemblies were dismissed in 1968 and 69. And also the advancement of the general election in 1971, which disrupted this established cycle of one nation and one election. That's how it started. What are the reasons why the state assemblies were dismissed? I don't want to get into that. It's all political. The criticism from certain political parties that federalism will be stake and the simultaneous elections will put national parties in advantage and regional parties in disadvantage. That is one argument. This argument is not convincing. Regional parties won decisively when our simultaneous elections were held earlier. While the ruling party at the center was the same throughout for a long time, in the state, people voted for different political parties, and notably regional parties also. A few instances would suffice here. For example, in Kerala, as back as 1957, a CPM-led government headed by late C.M.S. Namboodiripad was formed. In 67, when V.M.S. Namboodiripad became Chief Minister, in the Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, the DMK swept to power Even the great Congress president, famous Sri Kamaraj Nadar, was defeated in his assembly constituency in Virudhunagar, I think, by one Mr. Srinivasan, a youth leader. And then DMK swept to power and late Sri C.N. Annadurai became chief minister. In 67, Orissa, we call it now Odisha, saw a Swatantra party-led coalition government headed by Chief Minister Rajendra Narayan Singh. He was famously called as R.N. Singh Dev. All along, during these instances, the ruling party at the center was the same. State Swatantra Party, Center Congress Party. State DMK, Center Congress Party. So that means people in their own wisdom, they have chosen one party to rule the state, other party to rule the center. Though simultaneous elections have taken place. Different time elections have taken place, different verdicts are given. Okay, one can argue on that basis, but it's not correct. According to historical data, election turnout tends to rise during simultaneous elections as seen by 1999 Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh elections, where turnout increased by 11.5%, because both the contenders for the assembly and the contender for the parliament, they try to mobilize and convince the people to come and vote. That's what has happened. The citizens are more engaged in a single and unified electoral process. This concept of one nation, one election, of course, some people do not even agree it is one nation, that is their notion. We are a real nation, that is their notion. They think it's a threat to the regional parties. They lack the material or manpower resources to take on national parties in such a scenario. I don't think that is a correct. The state parties also had resources. You have seen recently the funds that are contributed to the regional parties and to the national parties. I don't want to give those figures and embarrass any party or make criticism of any party. That's not my purpose. After all, many regional parties, including DMK, AIDMK, led by Amma, Jayalalitha, Telugu Desam Party, are powerful players in their own state and have a strong voter base rooted in their ideology, whatever it is. A commonly expressed concern about simultaneous election is possible exclusion of state-level concerns and groups. According to critics, simultaneous elections might divert attention from regional issues and favor national parties while marginalizing local voices. However, Indian voter previous voting pattern points to the contrary. During the 1984 simultaneous elections, Tamil Nadu ADMK formed the government with a landslide victory, 195 of the 234 assembly seats, whereas Congress scored majority number of seats in the Lok Sabha, 25 of the 39. So ADMK in the state and Congress at the center in the same election. In Karnataka also, in 1984, simultaneous elections, people voted for Janata government in the state, 139 out of 224 assembly seats, but voted Congress at the center, 24 out of 28 Lok Sabha seats. There is an example here also. If you take the recent example, in Telangana, the BJP scored only 8 out of 119 assembly seats in 2023. Just within months later, people favored BJP by giving almost 8 seats out of 17 in the Lok Sabha elections. By above examples, we can clearly say the voters are wise enough to demonstrate that they could distinguish between national and state elections by choosing different parties for the Assembly and Lok Sabha. Since national parties would have to handle regional issues apart from their own, this concept in fact could promote greater engagement with the local issues instead of marginalizing regional parties. My dear sisters and brothers, if you recall, Election Commission of India, which conducts the election, it's not the government. Government provides security. Government provides logistics. But it is the Election Commission which conducts the elections. They have recommended synchronized elections in 1983. The EC has made a recommendation. And this was endorsed by the Law Commission of India in 1999. The ruling BJP in its manifesto in 2002 had also proposed the idea of one nation, one election in 2002. We are in 2025. It was put in the manifesto. Manifesto is placed before the people. People then, they discuss the manifesto and they decide, which was endorsed by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. Parliamentary Standing Committee endorsed this proposal twice, in 2015 and 2018. In 2018, Niti Aayog, the erstwhile Planning Commission, also proposed one nation, one election. So, see, the standing committees have recommended, and the Niti Aayog also recommended, and the Law Commission has recommended, and the Election Commission has recommended. Election Commission, Law Commission, and the Standing Committee of Parliament, and Niti Aayog. All of them have recommended one nation and one election, taking into various dimensions of the massive exercise. It's a massive exercise, including the cost-saving aspect. One of the reasons for simultaneous election getting more support is the cost saving that is involved. The estimated cost of Lok Sabha elections is said to have been around 1.35 lakh crores, more than doubling up from 55,000 crores in 2019. Further, unreported campaign expenditure further inflate the overall cost. The Election Commission of India reported 1,760 crores worth of seizures across 5 states in 2023. With the simultaneous elections, rupees 12,000 crores would be saved. This is what they have suggested. So apart from cutting down the unaccounted funds, making it easier to track the election expenses, reduce black money and corruption. That is one reason in support of this. Frequent elections cost a staggering 4.7 lakh crore, and with simultaneous elections, 1.5% of GDP would be saved. Election mode, continuous election mode, election after election. And you know, the political parties will be engaged in that. Election after election means, election after election means, first selection, then correction, then election. Selection, correction and election. I'm not trying to ridicule anybody. I was also part of this system. Election means you have to correct funds. You have to spend money. Even rightfully also. And select candidates. So you are continuously busy in that selection, correction and election. And you will not be able to, another reason is, why I am strongly in favor of this is, continuous election mode is do good for the people. Though some people think every time election means कुछ ना कुछ मिलेगा. It disrupts the developmental cycle. It diverts the attention. And then people and parties will not be able to take strong decisions because the election is coming, municipal election is coming, assembly election is coming, then again another parliament election is coming. So we can't take any tough decisions in the large interest of people. And everybody will be in the mode of pleasing the people, pleasing. And now particularly you are all seeing nowadays freebies. Everything free. Everything free. I don't want to go into the details. Everything is being free. And if this continues, people will say after some time we'll cook the food and put it into your mouth also. I am totally against these freebies. People may criticize me, I don't mind. India is a developing country and you can only provide two things free, if at all the government can do it. One is education, second is the health. Provide free education, free health for the poor people, not to all. That will really solve the problems and take the country forward. You don't want to move forward? You want to stay backward and create a situation awkward? Every political party has to think seriously about this. Populism. And where does this money come? And the attention has to be more on connectivity. Attention has to be more on road. Attention has to be more on rail, more on air, more on water connectivity, more on giving water supply to every home, giving sanitation in every municipal town, clearing of garbages. These are all important items that should be there on the agenda of the people, rather than this populism of giving free at the time of election. You try to induce the people by these freebies. It's not good. There is a saying in English, even our forefathers also used to tell the same thing. Don't give him a fish. You teach him how to catch a fish. He will know what are the difficulties in catching a fish, and he will be careful. If you give him fish, in the afternoon you give him koramenu, in the night he will ask for a bocha. Another variety of fish. Quite but natural. And if everything is coming free, why should we lose it? And free means, do you have a surplus budget? Do you have excess resources? Do you have enough money? What is your debt? How much money you are borrowing? Even for day-to-day administration also we are borrowing money. Day-to-day administration for payments. Some of the government, state governments, I should not use the words. Critics say have become bankrupt. I don't want to use that word because after all it's our country. They are in debt trap. They have to borrow. And then how do you put an end to this? How do you repay? There is a FRBM Act by the Government of India, but it's not implemented strictly. It should be implemented strictly. No state should be allowed to borrow more money than they can repay. They must show the budgetary systems. Today I am told budget is being presented here in Karnataka also. State government definitely has powers. But power to borrow and then 5 साल पूरा हो जाएगा, बाद में क्या होगा भगवान जाने. This is how some of the political parties are acting. There is no responsibility. There is no accountability. And people go on saying, I will give free, I'll give free to women, bus ride, give free after women, then old people, then after that disabled people, then after that youngsters. What is the fault they have committed? The youngsters have more capacity to go around also. And after that, then to all men, then to all. Can we afford free travel? Does the state budget provide for that? All these things. I'm not talking of Karnataka. This is being done by many of the states also. Not this party or that party. Most of the parties are competing with each other. Most of the parties. There is no honorable exception. In Delhi also, we have seen in the recent elections what sort of promises were made. We must put an end to this. And that too, if there is time, elections, frequent elections, then as I told you, that is the problem of selection, correction and election. On one side, freebies, and the other side, frequent elections will disrupt the development. And government will not be able to take any hard decision or strict decision or take tough decisions in the larger interest of the people. You will be always on the populist mood. This has to be taken into consideration. It will impact the economic growth. We should see to it that the growth is accelerated. We should see to it that we move forward to become a Vikasit Bharat. For that, everybody has to fulfill their responsibility. All political parties must follow some ethics, follow certain standards, follow certain parameters. Then only country can become Vikasit Bharat. We were known as Vishwaguru once upon a time. Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramasila, students from across the world, they used to come to India and study there. Takshashila destroyed. Many of our institutions are gone, and British people came. They made us slaves. They looted us. They cheated us. They not only cheated financially, they cheated some of our minds also, and put into our mindset, they are great people. We are not. Robert Clive the Great. Kittur Rani Channamma, not the great. Robert Clive the Great. Veerapande Kattabomman, Allur Sitaramaraju, Kamaram Bhim. There are many stalwarts in every state. A lot of people. But enough space is not given to them. Jhansi Lakshmibai, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Rana Pratap, many of the great social reformers in every state, including here. They were not given adequate space in the history. History was fully filled to praise Robert Clive, praise Alexander, praise Pentic reforms and all. We have to think in terms of viewing the history from the national point of view, not from the colonial past, from there, this thing. So, my dear friends, I don't want to get diverted, but I would like to focus on this issue of one nation and one election. The idea, as I said, is not new. This will reduce expenditure and cost. It will save a lot of money for the development of the people, and then it will give time for the states and for the parties to take strong decisions in the interest of the people. This is a step towards efficiency. This is a step towards effective governance, and it is a step towards stability, and it is a step towards progress. Some people feel, sir, the national issues will dominate and overshadow the local ones, diminish the state election autonomy, eclipse diversity, and lead to centralized politics. These are all alarmist concerns. disconnected from the ground realities. People are wise, sir. They are intelligent than you. They know whom to choose for municipal ward, whom to choose for MLA, whom to choose for MP. They are now have become sufficiently knowledgeable. Why are we doubting their judgment? Why are you doubting their capacities? The midterm elections, yes, there will be midterm elections. For that you have to amend even the anti-defection law. The anti-defection law first was brought in to control defections. Afterwards, they said, if you defect singularly, you are a defector. If you defect wholesale, you are not a defector. So wholesale defection is fine, singular defection is bad. That is bad. According to me, going by the experience, I was the chairman of the Rajya Sabha also. I was the president of a ruling party. I had experience in public life. I feel the anti-defection law must be amended. Anybody who wants to change party has to resign from his seat of assembly or parliament and seek re-election. That is the only remedy. This 1/3 and 2/3 business should not be there. And some people say it's not defection, sir, it's affection. No defection. And we are doing it with perfection. So we have to find a way out for that also. We must simultaneously go for anti-defection law so that this cycle would not be disturbed. If suppose somebody become dictatorial, it is for the party to remove him, to change the leader within their party. Parties are empowered to do it. After all, majority of the MLAs, they elect their leader. Majority of the members, they elect their president. And if the majority become a dissident, then the president goes. It's very clear. That provision is already there. So, about what happens, suppose in case if there is a dissolution of a particular state assembly, it should be tagged to the next general election. These are all ideas where you can come to a conclusion after having broad discussion. Yes, there are issues. There will be issues in any system. There will be certain practical problems. So to take care of them, the best way is to have discussion, to evolve a consensus, and then arrive at some understanding and remove the misunderstandings, if any. I hope that the government of India takes the opinion of all political parties, not by head count or by majority and all. What are the genuine causes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are the effective counters or answers to that? Then how can we evolve broad consensus? We must evolve broad consensus in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the development, in the interest of the people. Reforms are intended to reform. Prime Minister has given a 3-line advice. He said reform, perform and transform. Transformation of the system. Transformation of the lives of the people. Upliftment of the poorest of the poor. Reducing regional inequalities, disparities. And then ending any discrimination whatsoever. These are all the things where you need reforms. For example, reforms also solve certain problems. Earlier one has to go and stand in queue, waiting in line, standing in line, meeting the person, greeting the person, shaking hand and doing something in between hand. That used to be the practice. Now, direct benefit transfer. No line, no queue, no waiting list, no greasing. Your pension accounted to you, to your bank account. The other day I was walking in Visakhapatnam beach along with my friend. I could find very fresh vegetables and some fruits on the street, the beach road. So I went to them and then I said, this fruit is very good. What is the cost? He told us. Then we were about to give money. He said, sir, do you have phone pay? Phone pay. So this is the transformation that has come. Don't undermine the poor people. If you pursue it, then people will follow it. They know better the advantages than many of us. So reforms are the need of the hour. Even reforms in the electoral system are the need of the hour. Reform in anti-defection law is the need of the hour. Reform in, as I told you, holding elections, simultaneous elections, that is a reform. Reaffirm is the reform. Reaffirm, once upon a time it was there, and now we have to reaffirm that. It is nothing new that way. This is what I hold. Of course, political parties are free to have their own views, but people must see whether there is any logic or it's just only opposition for oppose. Even Rajya Sabha also, when I used to stop them, they say, sir, do you think that we don't have freedom? Freedom? I said, you have freedom. Then said, talk out, walk out, no breakout. Because the breakout will lead to all out of the system, democracy. If you have any dissenting voice your concern, protest, then walk out of the house. No, suppose you have more numbers, let the government propose, let the opposition oppose, let the house dispose. House means parliament. Put vote and then finish, gone. The government has no majority. These sort of things should be followed in a democratic country. Rather than going for a confrontation, then having shouting brigades, and then disrupting it, and then creating unruly scenes in the parliament. So there is a need to have reform in the conduct of the legislatures also. Sound. About facilities to be provided for the legislators, that's a different matter. They should be provided what is required. But about the conduction of the house, all parties must come to an understanding to have proper conduction of the house so that the people's concern, their aspirations can be reflected in the legislature, and the government of the day will go by those inputs and take decision in the larger interest of the state or the country. That is the only way forward. There is no ready-made solution available to this. The elections at both at national level would be synchronized, while those of panchayat and local bodies are also held simultaneously. I am of the opinion, I was Minister for Rural Development, have some experience about the rural. I was Minister for Urban Development. I dealt with both rural as well as urban ministries. I was Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. So I was Chairman of the Parliament, Rajya Sabha. So I have some idea about the parliamentary decorums and decencies and the need to have proper positive reforms. Positivity should be order of the day. Positivity. Positive during Corona was bad. But positive in regular life is good. During Corona, positive means you have to go to hospital. But now positive. Be positive in your approach. Don't oppose for the sake of opposition. But you have every right. We are a democratic country. We are the largest parliamentary democracy in the world. And we are the finest parliamentary democracy in the world. We should see to it, state legislatures and parliament, they should see to it that they conduct themselves in a more dignified, decent manner. Dignity, decency, decorum is the need of the hour in the conduction of the legislatures also. That is also another reform that are affirm the world system. The synchronized elections would reduce strain on human resources to a considerable extent. Fewer election cycles means less disruption to the government work, allowing bureaucrats and elected officials to focus on governance. The revolution and evolution of voting machine and deployment of EVMs reduce the burden on Election Commission of India, and introduction of VVPAT machines, voter verifiable paper audit trail, brought confidence and more accountability in the election process. Saving of precarious work hours naturally leads to higher productivity and to more efficient resource allocation and project implementation. This is the need of the hour. This is a big plus for the economy. We are 143 crore population. In spite of the development, we still have 18% of the people living under below poverty line. 18 to 20% of the people are illiterates. Even today, you have certain regional problems. You have problems of discrimination against women in certain areas. You have problem of discrimination against certain weaker sections in certain areas. You have to address those problems, and we have to take care to see that the democratic governance improves and the accountability increases and everybody performs their responsibility. MLA, MP, minister, secretary, or IAS or IPS, everybody should be made accountable for their duties. We are often reminded of our rights, but we should also remember our duties. Rights and duties, they go hand in hand. Then only democracy will be strengthened and will be performing better. This is another advice of mine. Let us discuss, let us have a constructive participation in the debates and discussions. Let the media also take care of this issue by projecting what are the problems, what are the difficulties, what are the practical problems in this, and what are the benefits and what are the losses, if any. Media also should try to educate the people. They should work in the larger interest of the nation. And also debates on television. Nowadays you find more than debates, there will be fights. That is not expected. Sometimes they copy from the parliament and legislature. Even in the debates also. They try to. And even in legislature, certain people challenge the other man, hey, come out. अरे बाहर रहने वाले को अंदर लाया हमने, आप कह रहे बाहर आ जाओ. माने ये बाहर का stock है, अंदर रखने वाले नहीं है. This has to be understood. This stock which we have elected and selected is not fit to rule for such people. So these are all issues. This can be addressed by always by enlightened people, by people being aware of their rights and responsibilities, by people participating in the debates across the nation on the larger interest of the nation. So this is one issue while all people should get involved and let there be debate and let there be a consensus in favor of simultaneous elections for Lok Sabha and for the assemblies together, and later for the Jilla Parishads, Panchayats and municipalities. They should also be within 1 or 2 months of general elections. These elections also should be completed. Because every election is important, na? So local elections also will divert the attention of the people, attention of the officers, attention of the government. So these elections also should be held within 3 months or 3 to 4 months maximum of the general elections. This is another session of mine. I hope all these sessions are discussed and then we come to a conclusion at the earliest for about one nation, one election. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
I request all the members to give a standing ovation for his wonderful speech. Honorable Sri Venkaiah Naidu ji. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಈಗ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೋತ್ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೋತ್ತರದ ವೇಳೆ ಇದೆ. If there is any questions or any doubts regarding this, you can ask directly to Honorable Venkaiah sir. Please be seated. Be seated. Mic will be given there. Mic kodappa. ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದವ್ರು. Sir.
Sir, I am from hotel industry. Last year, we had 5 elections in Karnataka. MP, MLA, graduate constituency, teachers constituency, and 1 by-election. For each election, we have to close our bar and restaurant for 3 days, and we have closed for 15 days in that year. Then also 1 day we have to give holiday for our employees. And I have to prepare 5 covers to 3 parties, so 15 covers I have to prepare to distribute. I think one nation, one election is not only same to the government, it is a very, very good statement to all the business community. Thank you.
This is one practical problem also. Please, anybody who want to ask a question, please.
Any questions?
Please introduce yourself, tell the name and then.
Sir, good evening. What is our role? The thing is-
Introduction. Introduce yourself. 1 minute.
Myself, I am G.K. Shetty, President, Karnataka State Hotel Association. The thing is, the issue is, the discussion is happening everywhere. The thing is, I don't know, personally, I don't know that who is taking call, whether the election commission or the parliament, but what is our role? Because we have some responsibility. Kindly advise us, sir, what is our role?
The role is simple. The role is to join the debate and support the idea of one nation, one election. Whenever any occasion comes, there is no specific role for any individual for that matter in a larger issue like this. But once the debate started now, different people, I am happy that the Chamber of Commerce have taken initiative to have a talk like this. This is another initiative. This is part of fulfilling their responsibility to have a debate. Whether you like election or simultaneously or not, that is left to the people again. But taking initiative. So enlightened people like you, they should also take initiative, have internal discussions, small discussions, group meetings, and then create needed public opinion.
Sir, good evening. Sajjan Raj Mehta, trade activist. So major opposition is always from the political one only. If BJP is ruling, then Congress and other opposition party will be opposing. When the Congress is in power, the opposition, BJP and other party will be opposing. So this is mainly political actually. If on the public side, if you see, everybody is ready to support if the motive is clear and the guidelines are clear. So if guidelines are issued in the details, how much gap will be there between the assembly election and between the parliament election, and how it will be conducted, and what will be the role, and what is the major benefit is, in last 12 years after the Modi ji government has come, not a single government has been dismissed under the Article 356. So that can also be a huge booster for this one nation, one election. Sir.
The point is, there should not be any gap.
Yeah.
Same day, same voting. You will be given 2 ballot papers, one for assembly.
That will solve the purpose, sir. That will solve the
One
purpose.
for the parliament.
But earlier it was told that there will be difference there.
For graduate constituency, for teachers constituency, there has to be separate election. And for local bodies, those elections also can be within 3 months. That's what I suggested, including municipal elections and panchayat elections also. This is one solution to see that the attention of the government, parties and officers is not diverted regularly or frequently, and then public welfare is put at risk.
Namaste sir, this is Dinesh Jain Khivesra here, insurance advisor here. One nation, one election sir. I have got lot of inputs from you, thank you for the same. Just one query I had. one nation in one election, it will be conducted on the same day, pan India, or what is the thing, sir?
It should be conducted same day.
One day throughout the
But
nation.
1 month or 2 months election period campaign, you can go around the country. Nowadays, you have a lot of electronic, systems that have come, and you have TV, you have digital this thing for running the campaign and all.
Sir.
You also have a media. So that's not a big issue to reach out to the people. And as I told, common people are more knowledgeable than so-called enlightened people. So there won't be any problem on that count. Simultaneous election, same day.
So security measures will be taken care.
Government will be able to take care. It is, as I told, it happened earlier, 52, 57, 62,
Yeah, 20.
67.
Thank you, Sirji.
The population, some people say population has increased. Security forces also
Sir,
increased.
I am N.S. Srinivasmurthy. I am former president of the FKCCA, sir. Well, one nation, one election is really a good move. But I am worried about the practicality of the situation because, say, 3 years after assembly election has taken place, 5 years the parliament election has taken place. How are you going to merge both the things, sir? Will the assembly dissolve by 3 years or the parliament get dissolved by 5 years? How are you going to match both the things?
I agree with you. These are the details to be worked out. So even if assembly elections and parliament elections take place, and if suppose there is a revolt in a state of the majority MLAs, they go against the chief minister, against the party, then what will happen? So should they be tagged to the next election? They should wait without assembly for 4 years? Or they should have elections? These are the details that has to be worked out. That's what is being debated now. And the people can send their suggestions also to the government and the Election Commission on this issue.
ಸರ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಅರ್ಜುನ್ ಎಚ್ ಪಟೇಲ್ ಮಂಡ್ಯ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಟಿಂಬರ್ ಫೆಡರೇಷನ್. ಈಗ ತಾವು ನಮಗೆ ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ವಿವರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು, ಆದರೆ ತಾವು ಬಹಳ ವಿವರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದಿರಿ. ಇದು ಏನೇನು ನಮ್ಮ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಏನು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಇಡೀ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಡೀ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈ ರಾಜಕಾರಣಿಗಳು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೋರಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಥರ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತರಲೇಬೇಕು, ತಂದೆ ತರ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಆಶ್ವಾಸನೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್.
What is your full name?
Arjun H. Patel. I am Gujarati, sir, basically. Arjun Patel. Arjun Patel, sir. I am the basically timber merchant, sir. I am the director of this FKCCR.
Good evening. Short names is no good. MG Road. I thought it was MGR's road. Mahatma Gandhi Road. SP Road. I thought such a good police officer, road is named after him. Sardar Patel Road. I was coming here and then there was KG. I thought, what is this KG? I asked Mohan. He said, Kempegowda. Kempegowda, such a great man, to make him KG. What is this lazy? And then become crazy. These are all English fellows. They wanted us to forget our forefathers, our history, our tradition, our culture, and they brought this short thing. That's why I always advocate everybody must speak in their mother tongue. Kannada. First mother tongue, then brother tongue, later any other tongue you can have. When I went to Tamil Nadu, some people told me, sir, Hindi is being imposed on us. I said, I am against imposition. No imposition. They clapped. Then I said, no opposition. Then they kept quiet. That is my proposition. That should be our position. Why should we oppose any language other than this thing? We have great language in the country. First, mother tongue. Mother tongue is like eyesight. English is like spectacles. You understand, no? First, we must have eyesight. Then we can go for other things. If there is no eyesight, even if you wear Ray-Ban glass, Zuban se kuch aayega nahi. So keeping that in mind, everybody should promote mother tongue. At home also, Parents should insist on their children to call Amma, Aya, what do you say in Kannada? Appa, Amma, Anna, whereas in where parents also tell the children, Babu, Mummy kaho, Daddy kaho. Why this Mummy, Daddy, Bidi, Jadi, Kedi? You must call Amma, Appa, Aya, Anna. These are all beautiful words that are there in our district. But English fellows, they not only rooted our country, they rooted some of our minds also. We must come out of that colonialism at the earliest, and now United Nations, and also everybody is now talking, UNESCO, everybody is talking of promoting mother tongue. You will be surprised, we are happy to know that Modi ji has taken initiatives to see the UGC and AICT are also working. Medicine, engineering, technology courses will be offered in the mother tongue of the people. That is going to bring a revolution. Some people have the doubt, sir, if you talk in Kannada, you will not go up. One boy asked me, sir, we can't go up, sir. I said, upstairs, you want to go to upstairs? No, sir, going up. Up, man. Then I said, I talked to God, I called him on ISD and talked to him and asked him, sir, is there any restriction? If to reach you, one should read, only study in an English medium. God told me, no, once the expiry date is over, anybody can come to me directly. The boy said, no, sir, you are saying it jocularly. I am talking about going to upper position. I told him, President of India, earlier Ramnath Kovind, or Draupadi ji, they studied in their mother tongue, could become President of India. I studied in a village school. I used to walk 4 kilometers a day to go to school and come back because there was no school in our place. And I studied in my mother tongue. I could become the second highest constitutional authority in the country. Our Prime Minister, who is the most popular now across the globe, he never went to a convent. He studied in the mother tongue in Cherry. That's why I say first mother tongue, then brother tongue means other languages. Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayali, Marathi, Assami, Punjabi, Bhojpuri, Hindi, lot of languages are there. Try to learn as many languages for me. I will just give you one small example to close. I met Mr. Putin, Russian president, and I was vice president. I met, of course, Trump. I met Merkel, the Macron, and all these leaders, they were talking in their mother tongue, and there is translation. Then I asked, then Sushma ji, in Netavan ko Angrezi malum hai kya? She told me, no, every one of them know English, but they don't speak in English. They feel proud to speak in their mother tongue, and there is translation. We are all the fellows who feel that whether we know English or not, we try to speak in English. Beauty foot and beauty butt. Nothing wrong in knowing English. Learn English also. After all, it's an international language. It will be useful. But first, foremost, your ideas, the children's ideas will come if they read in the mother tongue in Cherry at least up to 10th class. That is my recommendation. That will become reality one day or other. And all this KG Road, RK Road, MG Road, they will go and there will be Mahatma Gandhi Rasta, Kempegowda Rasta. That should be there in the coming days.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ದೇವಿ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ. ನಾನು ಉಡುಪಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನನ್ನ ಮದರ್ ಟಂಗ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ತುಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಒಟ್ಟು ಸೇರಿಸುವ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ನಾವು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಅರ್ಬನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಟಲ್, ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ, ಮುನ್ಸಿಪಾಲಿಟಿ, ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್, ತಾಲೂಕ್ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್, ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ವರ್ಷ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಇಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ 3 ತಿಂಗಳ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇಡೀ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇನ್ ಫೇವರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎನಿ ಐದರ್ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ಸಿಟೀಸ್. ಈ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್, ನಾವು ಯಾವತ್ತು ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ರೇಷನ್ ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಒಪ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಬಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ತರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ಲಿ ಮೇ ಬಿ 5 to 10% ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ವ್ಯೂಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ನೇಷನ್ ವೈಡ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಶುಡ್ accept ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್. That is most important.
That's good. Your side is welcome, and this is the general broad thinking among the people. Prime Minister is trying to create the needed atmosphere in the country, and then the government will go for a legislation or an amendment, whatever is required. So can we conclude with this, Namoshi? Please.
Sir, I'm Sushil Lamoshi, MLC from Gulbarga. Sir, my question is, in Karnataka, we had the election in 2023, and again we'll be most probably having it in 2028. Will that election be held? And if not, if the elections are not held, will the term of the present government be extended to 29 if that is so? And if it is not held, will there be a president rule? What might be the scenario?
So number one, 5 years, every 5 years election has to be held. There is no way. It is a constitutional mandate as of now. If at all you want to extend, the tenure will not be extended. Elections can be postponed or not. That depends on whether there is a president rule, whether there is a proclamation approved by the assembly again. All these issues will come. As of now, Karnataka will have definitely elections in 2028 as per schedule. If they want to go for early, and then if they lose majority, that's a different matter. If they have majority, yes, they should continue up to 28. Political parties will ask, you resign, let us go for election. That's how always opposition challenges. But the statute says election 5 years. Okay.
I request to close the question answer session.
Good evening, sir. Last question from my side. I am Sudhir Kumar from Bangalore. I come from travel industry. One nation, one election. How effective the youth can support and get this implemented? I want your feedback or views on that so that we can do that. Play a major role.
The travel industry is opposing this because travel will have business regularly if there are regular elections and all. The youth of the country, they should really stand in the front and then campaign for the simultaneous election, because after all, the future belongs to youth. Their future is at stake. If the development comes, the beneficiaries will be the youth mostly. So youth should also join this campaign in a big way, educating the people. That's all. That's nothing to be done now. Educate the people, educate your neighbor, educate your friends, educate your college mates, your university mates, your business mates. That's how you have to. And when an occasion comes, you must stand with the people who bring that one nation, one election. Okay.
Sir, I am Burji from Chamber and past president of Pinya and Kasha. Sir, now 80% people are ready to one nation and one election, sir. But only thing is that this only in assembly and parliament, they are the people, they are not ready. So you have to make it mandatory, sir. 80% people will be ready, and we will be more happy, because when you have started GST, it is really benefiting to all the business people, sir. Like that, you please implement, and 80% people will support to the.
At the end of the parliament has to debate it, discuss it, and come to conclusion.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಭಾವಶಾಲಿಯಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ದೇಶ ಒಂದು ಚುನಾವಣೆ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾವನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.